So this is how an aggregate demand and supply curve looks like. This is an aggregate demand curve. Aggregate demand. Here comes the general price level. Remember that this is the general price level, not the other one. And here comes the quantity. Yeah. And that is how an aggregate demand curve looks like. Okay. So if the general price levels falls from here to here, general price level falls, the quantity demanded will increase, bringing an extension in the demand curve. On the other hand, if the prices are increased, if the general price level actually is increased, it will bring the opposite effect, a contraction on the curve. The same goes for the supply curve. So this is an aggregate supply curve. Aggregate supply. Achha, here comes the quantity, again general price level. Initial point. The same principle followed by aggregate demand. Increase in prices. This time increases the aggregate supply. An extension of the curve. But when prices are lowered, aggregate supply falls. And this brings a contraction on the curve. It's pretty much the same thing. And this is the aggregate demand and supply curve. This will be quite important ahead. But first, we need to learn the government's macroeconomic objectives. So in this topic, first we need to be aware of the government's macroeconomic objectives, and then we will learn that how does government achieve these objectives. But first we need to know about what the objectives actually are. So the first objective is economic growth. The government wants growth. It wants a higher GDP. They want GDP to rise. They want economic growth. They want both actual growth, which is the real growth in the economy, as well as potential growth. And they want all of this to be accompanied with sustainable growth. Sustainable. Secondly, the government wants economic development. They want development in the economy. They want the provision of health, the provision of education. They want less pollution in the surrounding, a clean environment. Thirdly, they want low inflation. They want stable prices. The government wants stable prices. They don't want things to get so expensive, and therefore they set an inflation target for the central bank to achieve. For the central bank. Okay, fourthly, the government wants more employment in the economy, or we can say that they want low unemployment, because employment bring a lot of benefits. It brings a lot of benefits to the economy. It improves the standard of living of people. It reduces poverty, and it brings a lot of benefits to the economy. The government is able to get more revenue from the employed. Fifthly, the government wants people. They want people. Okay, so they want the redistribution of income. The redistribution of income from the poor, from the rich to the poor, and they do this through taxation and through their spending. Through these two things, they redistribute the income from the rich to the poor. Now, this includes, for example, progressive taxation, that they tax the rich more as compared to the poor. Progressive tax. This includes in spending. This includes state benefits, unemployed benefits, such stuff. What they do is that they redistribute income from the rich to the poor. And finally, the government influences the balance of payments. Sometimes they want a deficit of the balance of trade, and sometimes they want a surplus. Now, the situation is different for every government, for every country. The government knows better what they want in the balance of payments or the balance of trade. Sometimes a deficit, and sometimes a surplus. So, how does the government actually achieve these aims that we have just studied? In this video, we're not going to go in such detail with this subtopic. We will, if God wills, we will do that in the next videos. But for now, just know that the government uses the fiscal policy, it uses the monetary policy to achieve these objectives, and it uses the exchange rate of the country in order to achieve these objectives. Be sure that this is something related to taxes and government spending. And this is something related to the interest rate and the money supply. And the exchange rate is appreciated or depreciated. In the next video, we will discuss these policies. So be sure to watch that, subscribe, like, and share. Peace out.